Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to you guys, wherever it is that you may be tuning in from. If you guys see, I'm actually here with somebody this time. If you don't know where you guys are, we are at the Mood Travel Abroad podcast. And what we are here to do is ideally prepare you, the person, the family, the retiree, the digital nomad, the remote worker, the person that said 2026 is the year that I'm going to move abroad. Tonight's conversation is designed around not only connecting you with resources that can help you and shape this relocation journey, but as always, bringing the conversations that one, you need to hear, and two, pair some of what we realized that many of us did not hear before we actually packed our stuff, decided we're going to go move abroad, move out of America, and the comforts that that comes with. And these conversations hopefully are connecting you in a way where it is designed to take the mystery out. It's a lot of mystery regarding relocation and actually doing it well and building a sustainable life. And when you guys are looking into moving abroad, I realize it looks so much different in the year 2026. In the past, you may have been a certain age to look to move abroad. But now we're having people that are younger, people that are actively in the workforce, people that are looking to take their families, looking at young children. What does that look like? So tonight's conversation gives you guys the opportunity not only to hear from people that live abroad, hear from people that world school and homeschool their kids, allow them to see the life that you may be dreaming of at a very young age and what that looks like. So without further ado, if you guys are new, it is your first time seeing them. If you're not new here, welcome back to the Spellers. I've got Vernon and Sakile Speller here. Thank you guys as always for coming back and talking to the community.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you for having us again.
Thank you so much. It's a joy and an honor to be with you. And yeah, you have an awesome audience, and you're doing amazing things in Colombia and everywhere you touch.
Yes, we
We're
appreciate
doing
you.
our best.
Keep up
No,
the
we're
good
doing
work.
our best.
Yeah.
Whether it's Colombia, Mexico, South Africa, or Panama, and recently just added on Thailand. So you guys get some information to the community regarding what that looks like as you continue to navigate these destinations. But the biggest thing I want to get into is one, who you are, because for the people that do know you, welcome. You guys already are knowing that the people that are in front of you are somebody that you need to hear from when you are looking at taking your child or taking your entire family abroad and what opportunities that has for the people that are niche down to families. But I want to start it tonight with who you guys are because everybody's journey, what they do, what their passions are, starts there. It starts with who you are, what led you out of the United States, what started Embrace Your Free to be able not only to impact you guys as parents and families that were looking to world and homeschool, but how do you help the community of other people that are looking to do this in a way where, okay, I can digest this. So please give the audience some understanding of the entire Embrace Your Free story.
Yes. You want to start?
You can go. I can go. I'll tell a little bit, then I'll pass it to Sakile, let her kind of round things out for tonight. We're focused mainly on homeschooling and world schooling because my focus is businesses, working with our businesses, then involved with Embrace Your Free and the families, helping them to, what we do is help them to make sure the foundation of their business is solid in terms of connecting with the right audience, being able to connect with people on a consistent basis, create a consistent income, and then really kind of build that out and start optimizing is like what we like to call it, start optimizing their business and really bringing in a solid revenue so they can world school if they want to, or just fund their homeschooling, aspirations and dreams. And then if we are a good fit, we actually collaborate. It's kind of the point of our business platform, Embrace Your Free business platform was to be able to collaborate with our business owners and help spreading great products, great services to our world schooling and homeschooling audience. All these great families out there, we want to make sure that we're getting all these great products and services that our community is creating and these business owners have. We want to connect the two. So we want to make sure we want to help our businesses get to the point where they're ready to collaborate, and those who are a good fit and good brand match with us, we collaborate with them and get that out to our audience, and create win-win-win situations. And we've been Sakile will give the details of this of our background, but we're world schoolers ourselves. We're homeschoolers. Sakile will get into the details of it, and we built our business so that we could live those dreams ourselves, so that we can homeschool our children, so that we can travel the way that we want to, so that we can our money can be mobile, our income earning is mobile. That was the base foundation of what we created, started creating about 20 years ago, and have been able to make that a reality and be able to travel and now traveling internationally. And that's been the foundation of our business and what we built for ourselves. Now we help other families.
Yes. So thank you for sharing. So again, Coach Vernon, I'm Coach Sakile, and we're husband and wife duo. We've been together we're married for 25 years, and we have 6 amazing children. Our oldest will be 23 this year, and our youngest will be 13. And we've had the joy and the privilege to homeschool and to world school all of them. And I think it all began with a dream of freedom. So, both of us are really wanting to be able to live and create the life of our dreams. And our goal is to help other families do it too, because many times as children, sometimes we're told that our dreams are not possible, or they're just, you have to be in the real world. So that's not something that I really believe in. I'm the dreams are implanted into you for a reason. And just as much as you want your dreams, they want you. So if you have this one life, why not live it to the fullest and your best? So we really believe in that. We go after that with much gusto, and we really create a community of families that we're able to support and say, if we can do it, you can do it too, and you can do it your way. So that's really, really important. And I think one of the reasons that we became, homeschoolers was due to our personal upbringing and our experience with the educational system. So I don't know. I know that Vernon was a big fan of school when he was younger, but I think when he went to university, it opened it up, and he was able to see the value in education, that it's not necessarily just memorizing facts and regurgitating it. That education is, more something that you do, as a human being. You're always learning, you're always growing. I feel like it's just part of what we do. If we're not learning, we're not growing, we're dying. So it's, or we're just, we're not living in our fullest capacity. And so I had some disturbing, I would say, experiences when it comes to the educational system when I was younger. And I'm just not our children. So we're not doing that. And it's left some scars where when I was in the school system, I really started disliking myself as a person, start disliking myself as a Black person, because I was the only Black female in my school, and my teachers my one particular teacher treated me different, and the 2 Black young men. And I'm just I never want to put my children in a system where they feel like they're less or dumb or unwanted, or they start, disliking themselves or their culture. And it can just be one teacher, that one bad apple can ruin it. One teacher can traumatize your child. And I really believe that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So we wanted to cultivate a educational system that really embraced our children's uniqueness, really empowered them to step into their genius and their purpose. And once we start doing this, many families were just like, your children are so awesome. They're so amazing. What do you do? And I'm like, I homeschool them. They're just like, they're homeschooled, but they seem sociable and they seem normal. And can you help us homeschool? So we started getting clients, in terms of homeschooling first. And then we expanded it. Eventually, people were like, we want to do what you do. You're traveling, you're always traveling. How do we travel? And then they were just like, okay, we can't afford to travel. So, how do we do that? So, we basically created a platform. So, we help people homeschool their way that really cultivate their child genius, help them travel the world safely, affordably, in style with their families, and then also help them make money doing what they love from anywhere. So we have families doing all kinds of money makers. So it's not just like, oh, do I have to, join an MLM? No. Each of our families are doing something unique based on what they love, what they're good at, what the world wants, and what the world is willing to pay them for. So, yeah, that's.
This is great, and I love this synergy because when I hear you explain, what embrace your free means, not only to you but to your community. Most people don't know what's under the hood, but MOOD actually is an acronym, and it stands for making our own destiny, and it's in synergy with how you guys maneuver with embrace your free because I grew up in a scenario where tradition, here's a box. You go to work, you go to school, you go to college, and then you get the job, and then you stay in your local city. And if anybody knows me, I've been out of Philadelphia pretty much for 18, 21 years, since 18. So these things, when you talk about a lot of people, when they look at relocation, just as an individual, as an adult, you're looking for something that is untraditional. It's a lot of people when you go to move abroad, they're going to say, why would you do that? Why would you leave all of this in America? You would go to a third world country and leave behind the United States and the ability to make your own destiny, to embrace your version of free. I just appreciate the opportunity to just hear your side because I'm like, no, this is exactly what we're doing here with giving people the opportunity to look differently at things in the way they have traditionally been defined. And we want to talk about definitions because a lot of people, they understand what homeschooling is. Even in a box of untradition, it's still in a traditional box. It's not something that just recently started. It's not something that just came about in the 2000s, the 90s. People have been to homeschool environments. But this world schooling thing is a little bit interesting. And I want to talk about that because world schooling is a complete break of the box. Most people are looking at traditional school, but traditional schools in America are aligned with the American capitalist system of work, Monday
Right.
to Friday, 9 to 5, thinking that that is going to be the end all be all of where your child's education begins and ends. You just send them there and they'll get everything they need. Yet the numbers don't add up. The numbers say over 50% of Americans can't read past Harry Potter. For the people that don't know what Harry Potter is, that's only the sixth grade reading level. So when
Wow.
we look at homeschool and world school and the ability to take your child and present them not only education, which you guys know we all need to learn how
Yeah.
to read and write, but the challenge of language and culture and experience. And I want to get into what you guys navigate regarding that. Can you guys see me? I just got
Yeah.
to. Okay, I just wanted to make certain. I think we may have jumped off of live, but we're still recording. So
Yeah.
worst case scenario, it's all good. You can still see? Okay, great. Um, yes, can we get into what world schooling means? Because a lot of people don't realize what that is, and I think it's best to start there.
Yeah. I'll start off with this
Yeah.
one. So, a simple definition of world schooling is basically using the world as your classroom. So, it really values flexibility, cultural exposure, family connection, and a more customized education. And I really believe it's something worth exploring. Um, a lot of people think that world schooling is just traveling internationally, but world schooling is more and bigger than that. You know, of course, it does incorporate travel, but we have world schoolers that start off maybe locally, then it goes regionally, then it goes nationally before it becomes international. And it really can incorporate a lot of, like I said, experiential learning, which includes museums and cultural excursions, language acquisition, entrepreneurship, real world math, you know. So we really believe that education should be customized, not just copy and paste. And, you know, it's a great opportunity to find out what your children are really interested in. So, for instance, when we're world schooling, it is our children were meeting with master gardeners. They were, you know, they did an internship at a bike shop where they learned how to repair bikes, build bikes, sell bikes. You know, at 8 years old, they're answering the phone, they're doing sales, they're ordering parts, using the computer. So they're learning so many skills. We also had them in all the sports and all the activities. So they were doing gymnastics, basketball, football, track and field, jewelry making. Um, they were doing photography, vegetarian cooking classes, swimming classes. We were taking them to a museum or a cultural event every week. Even before we started international, we would go to like the planetarium. We would take them to the circus. We would take them to international festivals. We would take them like, oh, we're gonna go to the Joffrey Ballet. Let's see, you know, Black people doing ballet. We took them to like the Black Opera. So, and then also we would take them places like, okay, today we're gonna see someone making glass, you know, seeing behind the, oh, we're going to go to a factory and see how they make chocolate. So I think world schooling, there's a big component that includes travel, but a lot of it is exponential learning because children typically retain, I think, 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, but 90% of what they do, what they experience. So if you really value education and you don't want it to be like short term regurgitation, spitting it out, it's really important to have those high emotional, exciting experiences. Like these are the things that children remember forever. And these are life skills that they can use now and for the rest of their life. So I think
Mhm.
world schooling is a great way to prepare children for life. And also something that is missing in school that I found is critical thinking. It really encourages children to ask why, to ask questions, to think, and to experience, and not just take your word for everything. Like they become an authority in their education. They don't have to just take your word for it. They get to experience it and see it for themselves and come to their own hypotheses and conclusions.
That's really important. Things are really hands on when it comes to learning, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. As a kid growing up left-handed, I had to start figuring things out immediately. How to throw a baseball, how to handle certain things, and a lot of people kind of gloss over that. I feel like American values and the way that life is set up in the box of it, it just seems like it's in a vacuum. It's just this everything is already designed. You just need to just wake up and keep doing it again a day. And this world schooling opportunity really gives you a challenge. You, the parent, you, the kid that's not watching this, but them that not only is going to be able to have a bigger start, quicker start. If a lot of us had the ability to start traveling in middle school or elementary school, as we had seen other communities maybe done, things I think would be a lot different. We as adults, the community of millennials, Generation Xers, the ones that are looking to move abroad now, they probably would have done it a long time ago. It would have
Yeah.
been at least on their radar. They would have not been so amazed when they meet somebody that speaks 3 languages fluently.
Yeah.
It would have been normal. And these things are, I feel like, important to realize that it doesn't have to be done just the way that it has been traditionally done. And you mentioned sports, you mentioned community and your kids being social, because a lot of people, when they think about moving their kids, they're like, what about sports? What about other kids they're going to play with? And a lot of the helicopter parents don't realize that they are actually helicopter parents. The kids, they'll get over the language thing. Play is play. And it leads me to the first question, because, when you talk about curriculum and untraditional curriculum and how to raise kids that are, one, educated, but two, worldly, what does that curriculum look like when you're thinking about world schooling?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Do you want me to take that? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta do more of the curriculum stuff. So when it comes to world schooling, like there isn't one best curriculum. So the best curriculum is the one that fits your child's learning style, their identity persona, I would say their personality, your teaching style, and the time that you're available, plus your lifestyle. So we have a system called LIT, and that's the acronym. Learning style, identity persona, teaching style, and time. So once you take those 4 things into consideration, you can create a curriculum that also works for you. Because like if you're the one that's teaching and you don't like it and you don't want to do it, your children pick up on that. So you want to find something that you believe in, that you're passionate in, and that you enjoy. Or, sometimes the teaching style is maybe my child will have a co-op, or will have tutors or something like that. So I think it's really important to like assess yourself and know yourself, who you are, and know your children. And because, one thing that many of the parents discovered when their children in school, it was just like everyone's treated the same. Like everyone's a little robot and has the same capacity, and they're treated the same way. So when it comes to world schooling, homeschooling, you can really individualize it so that you can cater to your children's strength. That's how you hear about homeschoolers that are graduating with their PhD at 17, because a child is getting that specialized care.
Yeah.
And so I would say when it comes to world schooling, there's so many different options. But the problem is people like, what's the best curriculum? And they just pick something and it doesn't work for them because they don't know, what their child's personality is. Like, are they social and they need to be like learn in a group setting, or do they need more one-on-one time, or do they need to like have more hands-on lessons? So I think that's where you start, like the foundation. And then once you know those things, it's like so much simpler to world school. I hope I answered. You have any thoughts?
Yeah, I want to add a little bit to it. Great point. I wanted to go from a perspective of the parent who, because it's typically 2 types of parents. The one who's ready, they're an adventure. They're like, let's go. They just want to know kind of, where are we going? Okay, I want to do this. I got these things I want to do. Let's go. And there's the other parent who's more conservative. And they're like, okay, how are we going to fund this? How are the kids going to be able to go to college? Are they going to be able to get good jobs? Are they going to be, like we talked about, they're going to be normal? They're worried about those types of things. So let me address kind of the financial side. Sakile did a great job with covering a lot of that, but just on the financial side of things, And from our perspective, I'll share our story a little bit, and from my point of view as well, kind of what was going on during that time period. And this is kind of goes the other side of world schooling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with us, we were looking at, and what's what I want to encourage my parents, similar to what Sakile was just saying for world schooling and doing with your children, you do that similar thing for the parent who's conservative. You do the similar thing for making sure that your finances are good and making sure that things are covered, because that's what they're worried about. Am I going to be able to take care of my family? Are we going to be okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you do a similar process of what Sakile just mentioned. We walk our parents and our business owners through this process, or just they can be a professional. You don't have to be a business owner. We walk them through this process, and this is what we did. We learned, we did this ourselves. And the process is real quick, and I'll share our story real quickly. Process is looking at what you want, getting a good idea of what your goals are, and we have them do a mission statement for the family, but get an idea of what your mission is. What's your mission statement for your family? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? Number two, thinking about what your financial model is going to look like. How much money do you need? What types of things do you want to do? Do you want to be remote? Do you want to have more of a flexible schedule? Do you want to have a complete business where you're completely online and not, connected with another, like a job type entity at all? You want to be completely independent? Do you want to be a freelancer? What type of model do you want to have there? And then what we do, well, I'll share this and I'll talk about the next thing, but community as well. This is the third piece, very big piece. And talk about socializing and, like you talked about sports, things like that. What type of lifestyle do you want to have in terms of community that you're interacting with? All right. So share our story real briefly here. And just in terms of from my perspective, when we first started world schooling, like Sakile, part-time, she mentioned 2008, right? 2008.
Yes, 2008. So
we were very part-time and we worked it within our schedule. We were both in grad school at that time. I know I was, 2008, yeah. I was, yeah. So we worked it within our schedule, doing break periods, spring break, summer school, weekends. Yeah, weekends.
One weekend a month.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we work within our schedule. But as we wanted to do more, we're like, we want to do more of this. We want to travel more. When I finished with graduate school, I was working, and working pretty busy. I had I was working with a direct sales company where I was working from home, but then I had my practice. When I finished school, I was doing natural medicine. So I had my practice. I was working in like 2 or 3 different locations. So it was a little bit of a more stringent schedule, but I had some flexibility as well, if that makes sense. As much as that's going on, I had some flexibility. Then we transitioned from there into, okay, we want more flexibility. We want to be able to travel more. So after doing that for almost 10 years, in that process for almost 10 years, I went into, I want to do more. So I let go a lot of the practice, the brick and mortar work that I was doing that kind of had me tied in more, had my schedule more constraints on my schedule. And I went into business and we tried a couple of different things. This is when we really discovered the Ikigai and the power of finding your purpose. So went through the process of trying e-commerce. We did just building a kind of traditional business brand. Me and my business partner, we still work together this day in our consulting business. We work with small business owners, but kind of building out what was going to be the right thing. We building a brand out, e-commerce, bunch of different things. We tried different types of e-commerce. So real estate investing, did some real estate investing. I love real estate, but did some real estate investing, looked at doing that, and I like it, but it's like, I don't want to do this full time as my main thing. I want to do that as more, it's more of our side thing that we do. But we tried these different things and really discovered Ikigai and that concept and really applied it to us. And that's when we developed Embrace Your Free 2017. Mm-hmm. Developed Embrace Your Free based on our Ikigai, based on what was our purpose for living. And fortunately, we're in alignment with our purpose for living. So we're able to build this out to be our family business and really grow it. But it works very well within our world schooling lifestyle, within our homeschooling lifestyle, and within what we're dealing with as far as finances and our goals. We're able to generate the revenue that we need. We're able to build, do the lifestyle things that we want to do with our children. And that's really key. Getting through that process, and I want to share this now, I'll pass it back to you, RJ, of understanding your psychology and developing your world schooling, your homeschooling to match that, understand your emotional state. And then as far as business goes, is what's called a SWOT analysis. So understanding what your strengths, weaknesses, where are the opportunities, where are the threats, potential threats, and not being overwhelmed by the threats. A lot of people, they'll stop at the threats and like, oh, world schooling or relocating or, traveling is different. I'm worried about it because of the threats. And that's not necessary. You don't have to stop because of it. Sure, move intelligently, of course,
Mhm.
but don't stop at just there's threats, so I'm not going anywhere and I'm staying in Chicago. We're from Chicago. I'm staying in Chicago and I'm just traveling, whatever, in these small bites. But understand the threats and move accordingly, sure, but you can still make moves. You can still do things. Take advantage of the opportunities. Like Sakile talked about, moving from a position of strength, understanding what your weaknesses are, but you taking all those things into account in terms of your finances, whether you're a career person, working professionally, or a business owner. Understanding all of that, understanding your emotional state, understanding your mental state, and using that understanding as an empowering tool so that you can do the world schooling or whatever the life that you're pursuing. You can live the life of your dreams.
No, that's real. You mentioned a number of things, and it all made me think of where a lot of people are. We're in a lot of the same travel relocation groups. We all have the same internet, the same social media platforms. So, considering where we are and what we do, we're probably seeing a lot of the same things. And one of the biggest things, homeschooling, family, individual, is how do I make money? I want to leave, I want to go. And earning is something that is important. You mentioned you guys have seen a number of different hobbies become businesses, ideas become globalized and mobilized. And what is your take in regards to how to at least kind of frame for somebody that's watching this, looking at homeschooling or world schooling as an option, but making money is the biggest thing. And just before, I wanted to make certain the skills are different now. So a lot of people are saying I have these traditional skills, but the remote work jobs aren't aligning with an opportunity with the traditional skills. So how are you guys helping people navigate with that? Because that starting point, I think, is a really almost an ending point sometimes with people looking to relocate because they can't figure it out.
Yeah, I'll start off
Yeah,
with some family.
that's good.
So a lot of times, okay, so there's two main ways that we work with our families in order to find the income. So the first one is the ikigai. Vernon was talking about it a bit. So ikigai is all about designing your best life, right? And so it deals with doing what you are, what you love, and out of those things, like your passion, what you're good at, what the world needs needs to be relevant, and then also what the world is willing to pay you for and helping you make it mobile. But sometimes that takes some time. So we've had families that have done real estate investing, those who are like entertainers, so they'll dance or sing and travel or do yoga, traveling, world schooling, doing that. We have those that have e-commerce businesses. We have those who do consulting, insurance, travel agents. We have families that teach English online. So, or will have their job remote, but or write books, but it's usually something that they're already passionate about. Now that usually takes some time. So while you're building and skilling that out, another thing you can do is you can design your income around your family instead of designing your family around your income. So again, that's remote work or starting an online business or consulting, digital products, tutoring, content creation, and just services based businesses. And Vernon will talk more about that. But these are all options. And the key is really flexibility in systems, and income should really support your lifestyle, not exhaust you. So you can work with the skills that you currently have. So if you teach, you can teach. If you're in accounting, you can do bookkeeping or accounting online. There's virtual assistants, there's marketing, graphic design, travel planning, estate investing. There's so many different options that you can do. And we have partaken in many of them, and we've made money from them. Like some of them, maybe it was like $500 a month, and some of them made us $35,000 a month. But it wasn't until we like figured out what our thing is, our ikigai, that we were able to make, substantial income. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Great point, Sakile. And I'll share a little bit more detail in terms of what Sakile was saying. I'll just kind of elaborate a little bit on what you're saying, because you did a great job of covering things. So just briefly there, like Sakile was saying, key is lifestyle, understanding what lifestyle you desire, and really finding the bit, whether you're in a business, or I'm going to stress this, whether you're a business or a professional. As Sakile mentioned, some of the things you can do as a professional, you can get freelance, but even on jobs, there's a lot of remote opportunities, flexible working hours, things like that. But understanding what your lifestyle you want to do and designing that, so that it makes sense for you. But also, one of the things that people worry about is, and we want to worry about this too. Are we going to have consistent income coming in month to month? You want to be able to have reliable income. So that's another thing. Again, because it's a concern doesn't mean that you have to stop. What I would encourage for folks to do is to take that in and take it as a concern. Yes, now address it. Focus on predictable revenue. So whether you're, once again, as a professional or as a business owner, what does that look like? So you want to get into things that have a cash flow kind of a basis, that are going to be, you can generate cash flow from, and things that you can do, like Sakile mentioned, understanding yourself, understanding your strengths, weaknesses, like I talked about the SWOT analysis. Find things that you can do and you can generate cash flow with consistently. All right, very important. Sometimes we get stuck into, I need to do this, I have to do this, and we can miss the opportunities out there, especially in today's market and today's technology. I won't go into it, we can go down a whole rabbit hole with AI, but I'll just say it. With AI and where AI is going in terms of the agents, I was just taking a course on this. I'm going to share this on my social media, but with agents, creating agents that can do specific tasks, and then what they call, I just learned this term, swarm, where there's a whole multiple agents, AI agents I'm referring to, AI agents, multiple AI agents who can now perform multiple tasks for you, particularly as a business owner. So now you can run effectively like an agency with just a handful of actual humans, but just your AI swarm going to work for you, managing your social media, managing marketing, managing, customer fulfillment, managing, customer service, all these different things 24/7, so it's phenomenal what you can do. But not to mention social media, things you can do with social media for whatever your background or skill set may be. There are opportunities to infuse social media and generate revenue. And there's multiple ways of that. I know some families who have created up to 8, 9, 10 sources of revenue, not from doing 9 different businesses, which sometimes people make a mistake of. I want multiple streams of income, say set up 10 businesses. that dilutes your energy and your results. But what this person has is one business, but thanks to technology, thanks to thinking creatively, thinking growth mindset and abundance mindset, opportunities have come based off of this one thing that they do. Like I mentioned, and I think it's 8 or 9 streams of income off this one thing that they're doing. So it's off this, and one of my mentors calls it anyway income, things that you're doing anyway. And even, I won't go down that rabbit hole right now, but but there's multiple opportunities out here, and now more than ever. It seems kind of overwhelming. I'll address this real quick. It can seem overwhelming maybe for some of my business owners, some of our parents that we run into, all the technology and all that's going on. So, but it's in reality more opportunity probably than it's ever been, in my lifetime in the last 50 years. And there's more opportunity, and it seems difficult because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot coming at us. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things. And we see all this, everybody's shining on social media. So it's like, man, I'm too late, or it's saturated, so that's the feeling that you get. But in reality, if you connect with people. And this is what we do with our business owners. Now I'll share that as well. But if you just connect, figure out the things we talked about, be intentional, there's so many opportunities to generate revenue with your skill sets. You don't have to necessarily do something, change your whole, thing that you're doing. You can take your skill sets, like Sakile was saying. Maybe you need to develop them some. Maybe you need to develop your skills. Maybe learn a new skill or two, because there's new technologies out there. But taking your skill set, there's so many opportunities to monetize it in a business, in freelancing, in actually on your job. Even there's opportunities to do different things even in job settings now. It's pretty phenomenal. We're in a pretty exciting time in terms of that. So keeping an open mind and being willing to put in the work necessary if there is some work that you need to do, especially if it's worth it. I'll end with this. If it's worth it, meaning this is your dream, this is what you want for your children, this is what you want for your relationship, this is how you want to experience the world. We're talking about relocating and experiencing the world. For me, it's worth it. And if it's worth it for you, I wouldn't let the potential obstacles stop you.
Yes.
I definitely encourage that. And so if people want help with that, reach out to me via email, Vernon@embraceyourfree.com. We help our business owners, build. We help them, expand. If they're already developed, we help them, expand and really optimize and get going out there. And like I said, if our brands align, we actually collaborate, which is my favorite thing. That's actually what I want to do. I want to find brands that I can collaborate with and create win-win-win situations. So Vernon@embraceyourfree.com. We have a free workshop that we're doing. So you can tie into that and get that free workshop. It's a five-part workshop that we do, which is awesome for my business owners, and either help them get going or to help them create a nice solid foundation that they can build off of. So
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah.
Nah, a lot of
thing for like families who may not be in business. We also work with those who may want to start something, that's not business oriented. You don't have to be a business owner.
Oh, I'll put in the chat where to get in touch. Our families.
Yeah.
I'll put into the chat. There we go. We have a free gift.
Yes, you have a free Worldschooling gift. The 5 keys to success when it comes to Worldschooling. So that's at embraceyourfree.com/b/guide, GUID. Or you can go to embraceyourfree.com. There's like free homeschool guides and other cool
different
things.
products and stuff.
Oh, yay.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, we are world schoolers. We love it. We are big proponents of this lifestyle.
No, definitely. One of these, what I was saying, because a lot of people with this thought, what am I going to do? How do I globalize? There's another big subset of people, a majority of them, that's looking to relocate. America doesn't give you the time to take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. Understand what you're doing. You're leaving comfort. You're leaving all of the things in the United States. And one of the exercises I tell people on this channel is to write down what you want.
Yes.
Write down what you are leaving. Because a lot of people, they're literally running out of the burning house. So they're like, I just got to get out of here. Once I get out, I'll figure it out. And that is not a plan for sustainability and success. People are not giving themselves the grace of asking themselves, what do I want? People not even understanding what it is that they're looking to give up. What do I not want in my life? You guys are at a crossroads. Relocation is a crossroads. This entire thought process is 100% a crossroads. And you're going to say, hey, am I going to drag the baggage, the luggage, the weight of America with me if I'm trying to make a left into a new environment? Or am I going to leave these things behind? But when you go and say, where am I going? What are you looking for? Yeah. Because a lot of people go into Google and ChatGPT and Gemini and whatever AI you want to use and say, well, what are the top expat destinations? Not realizing that is not an answer or a list that is designed around you, the person that is looking to move abroad. And only when you know what you are looking to leave behind. I don't want to deal with police brutality. I want to eat good food and it not be full of preservatives. I want to send my kids outside and it's not... Should I send them outside? Is it safe to do that? Whatever it is, most people think from when you ask them this question, they go, I got the top 3, the top 5. And I'm like, go write it down. And I mean like old school. I don't mean type it in the tablet, type it in your iPhone. I mean take the actual thought process, because there's a reason, there's a method to my madness when it comes to taking that thought, transferring it from your left or right hand, and then writing it down a into a piece of paper that you can reference. Because a lot of us have that reference paper, that note that we're able to say when things get a little tough, challenges come up, get a little homesick, you know where to go back and look and saying, did I actually achieve, and am I willing to go back to what it is? So when you talk about the opportunity to one homeschool, when you talk about the opportunity to globalize a business, none of that starts, person that is watching this, until you know who you are, what it is that you want, because a consult is only a consult of what it is and who you are. But if you don't know, there's no way that I, Vernon, or Sakile can know. So make certain, if your relocation is actually something that you're thinking about, take the time. You're old enough, go get a pen and piece of paper, write it down. And then write down what you're looking for, because a lot of people, when looking at homeschooling and considering the destination, the top destinations, you need to know. But also, when your experience running, traveling the world with 6 children, would you say are some of the top destinations from a high level if you have children?
Great question. Great question.
That is a great question. So, yeah, just going back to what you were saying, which was brilliant, is like the best country really depends on your goals. It really does. Are you looking at cost of living? Are you looking at safety? Are you looking at visa options, language, healthcare, community, cultural alignment? Like these are all things that you want to consider when you're looking at different countries. So, for instance, Mexico is very popular because of proximity. You know, it's very affordable. There's multiple residencies options that have been pretty easy. Things are getting a little bit more challenging the last few weeks, well, since this year, but it's still possible.
Yes.
Still possible. But we have families that are thriving in Colombia, Portugal, Panama, Costa Rica, Spain, Kenya, Senegal, South Africa, Thailand is a big one, the Philippines. So, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. And the best country is one that's aligned with your values and your budget, and then checks off those things that, you know, you're looking for. Which, like right now, we're in Mexico, and the first, like maybe day 3 of being here, we had children knocking on our door saying, "Can the kids come out?" And I swear it's like going back to the 1980s. The other day, we had a gang of like 12, 13, 14-year-olds. Maybe there was like 7 of them. They came running, riding their bikes up to our house. Our 2 sons, who are 12 and 14, were playing basketball. And they parked their little bikes on the side. And they're all playing basketball. And they're like, okay, after a while, okay, let's go. They all jumped on their bicycles and left. And I'm just like, oh.
That's hilarious. The Stranger Things crew
So
just rolled
beautiful.
off.
I had to take pictures. I'm like, oh, this is, you know, so
Right.
these are things you want to think about, you know. When we came here, also, I noticed there's a level of stress that I had in the US that I did not realize I had until I've traveled to other countries. And then I come back and I'm like, oh. So, like, for instance, if we travel anywhere in the world outside of the US, pretty much we're treated like royalty. So I'm like, oh, this is how the other people feel in the US. This is nice. You know, we're treated like the elite, you know, just because we speak English and apparently you're from the USA. We're given a level of respect. The police do not mess with us. They're like here to protect us. Like, we want your dollars. So we're going to make sure that your interests are taken care of and you are protected. I love it. I love it. So, yeah, but I don't feel like that in my home country per se. I don't feel like a elite. I don't feel like I'm necessarily important or that my values or principles, my interests matter.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So these are things you want, I think, to take into account. And there's many, many countries out there that are amazing. But again, you have to know yourself. We can
Yeah.
help you, but we need to we have a checklist so we can kind of help you narrow it down
Yeah.
if you're interested.
Adult homework. That's what I
Yeah.
call it. You guys are going to get some homework. I'm going to ask you some questions that I don't want the answer for. You just need it.
Yeah.
These things are important to really wrap your head around. Now, I know I get a lot of different kinds of families, and one of the questions I have here is when it comes to special education and IEPs, is world schooling something that you've helped people navigate if they are in a scenario where that is their child in the U.S., how to get into a world schooling environment with those things going on?
Yeah. So one thing I like to say, there's nothing more individualized because this is an individualized education plan. So there's
Hmm.
nothing more individualized than world schooling, right? So, if you're looking for an individualized, supportive learning environment, World School is definitely an option because you can adjust the pacing, the environment, the sensory input of your child, the curriculum, therapy schedules. There's so much flexibility. It's all dependent on you. It's not like, oh, my child has to be in school from 8 to 3. You can make the schedule. If you need your child in classes 2 hours or like 30-minute lesson here, take a break, 30-minute lesson here, take a break, you can do that as a world schooler. Many families find that their children do thrive once the pressure and the comparison is removed. So you become the advocate and the designer of your child's learning experience. So I think it's excellent.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
No. One of the things I was talking, one of our relocation clients came down last year. She moved here with her 2 kids. She had them in Colombian school down here for a while, but then she picked up homeschooling because there were some things that specifically with the schedules. I know that they have specific schedules down here. One of the things that stood out to me was I didn't even think about this 'cause I don't have children, but she said that coming from St. Louis, she had her kid in public school, which is normal. But obviously, public school, you don't have a cost. There's the yellow cheese bus that come get you, and there was an expense that wasn't on the table when you looked at traditional schooling in the United States with public school, and that leads me to think when it comes to world schooling. Now, I know you have a lot of say so with certain things, but maybe it's not a lot of people that have. I know how to teach kids, but I'm willing to, and I need to learn. But what does the cost look like when it comes to world schooling and following a curriculum that will prepare them for college if that's what you want them to do, or they want to have the option to do that?
Great
Yes.
question.
Yeah. So there's so many different options. Like, so because some people are world schoolers and they will put like, they consider themselves world schoolers, but they're not homeschoolers. So they travel around the world with their children and they put them in different schools so they can have that immersion cultural experience. So just because you're world schooling doesn't necessarily mean that maybe you're not having them in school and maybe you supplement their education after school or on the weekends or during the summer breaks. So some people will world school that way. Not all world schoolers are strictly 100% traditional homeschoolers, right?
Okay.
So you can always do that. But there's plenty of different curriculums like um, homeschoolers are accepted into colleges every year. And many homeschoolers actually will start university when they're 12, 13, 14 years old, with a dual enrollment option, which is great. And colleges really value independent thinkers, something that, homeschoolers and world schoolers have. and also self-directed learners and unique experiences. Um, Other ways that you can do it besides dual enrollment is AP exams to get in universities, create portfolios, internships, entrepreneurship, and standardized tests are all pathways to college if that's something that they want. Um, Also, many parents, areas that they're not strong in, they will hire tutors, you know,
Okay.
especially tutors in other countries are not that expensive. So you can get like a professor possibly or another teacher to tutor your child after school or find tutors online. There's amazing online programs. Also, there's co-ops. So there's many world schooling communities where parents get together, and many of them maybe were engineers or accountants, and they may teach different subjects. So you can, so we might still be like, but collaborate together as a world. We
Looks like
lost
we lost
RJ.
RJ.
We lost RJ. So let me see. Let's see. This is Shell. She says there are not a lot of us talking about homeschooling, much less world schooling. Love this. Cultural alignment, language expansion, and great weather come to mind for my family. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have check all of the above. But
You
to
would-
continue on with what he's saying, just in case it's still going live, is that yes,
We're live.
yeah, we're still live. So is that there's many different options. There's great programs, you know, online. Like even our children have taken free classes at Harvard online. Lots of universities are offering free university level classes, and you know you can pay like a little money to get actual credit for at the end if you like the class, or not, you can just use it as a great learning experience. So there's a plethora of programs. Okay. Hey Shell. Okay. So there's a plethora of programs.
And paid programs for families who want to, put that money down. There's programs you can pay for.
Yeah, there's programs you can pay for. There's amazing programs.
Online academies,
Yeah.
whole online academies that prepare some really good programs.
And
Our
assess
clients-
your children. Yes, because our children take online when they were younger and it was simpler. You're back.
There we go.
We would do complete like workbooks and writing and a lot of just like us teaching. As they got older, we started incorporating when it's more high level, more online courses.
That's some of the best professors.
Yeah,
They're
some
awesome.
of the best professors all over the
Yeah,
world.
that's dope.
So it's really great. And I'm learning right alongside with them. Some of the classes are really interesting. So I'm like, I'm going to sit on this.
And we, thanks to technology, I'll throw this out there. We even tap into YouTube University a little bit. So we have lectures from people like from Dr. John Henry Clark, Sheikh Ant Diop. Some of the ancestors have lectures online, so they can learn about history. Some great math and science lectures out there that they'll tap into, and just different apps and sites that we tap into too. They love one called Crash Course for science and math, and they get a really nice science and math education, really thorough. There's some really great stuff out there. We love incorporating finances, and of course, being entrepreneurs. We love incorporating entrepreneur and finances into their education. And once again, YouTube University has some great stuff. We have some other programs that we purchase that they go through with some really good financial and entrepreneurial kind of mindset and stuff. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. There are.
I think it's good that you guys bring that up, because a lot of people they don't know a family that lives abroad. They don't know a couple. And what I tell you guys are that when you get abroad and you go and you do like a relocation tour and you go, before you go sell everything, not just, you find community. And ideally, you might find people that have kids your age. You might find people that maybe I've met so many other Morehouse men out here that I did not go to school
Morehouse.
with. These things are important to sustainability. I think so many people have navigated the relocation journey as just another move, just another pick a destination and we'll go here and we'll. It's not. It is not. When you move from Atlanta to Los Angeles, you're still in the United States. They might have a little different accent, but you're still there.
Yeah.
Whereas what I tell people when it comes to relocation, even without asking, I know most people's answer when they come to both travel and actually have moved full time abroad is therein lies the moment that I say my life changed. My life was different from then because I was able to see certain things. The weight of America, it was finally off of me, and I didn't have to put it back on. And or when I did, I now knew how heavy the weight was. Now consider that as an adult.
Mm.
And a lot of people are positioning themselves when looking at world schooling and homeschooling as giving my kid the opportunity to do what it is that I didn't have the opportunity to. Standing on the shoulders of my ancestors so that we can go further and my kid can go even further than that. So when I look at, not only this entire conversation, I think one of the biggest things when you look at what are people trying to do when looking to move abroad is shape their child's worldview.
Yeah.
And you've got 6 kids. I think you said from 23 to 12, I believe.
Yeah.
23.
So our oldest will be 23. Well, okay, so it's 22 to 12, but this year they'll be
Okay.
23 to 13.
So what do you think that's had on their impact from a
And we're going
worldview
to answer your question, Shell, too. I see she answered some questions.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'll get that. But from a world view perspective, what do you think that has done from their impact and how they're moving around here in life? Because that's a
Yes.
wide range of children. So I'm like they've all experienced this at different ages, and now can
Yes.
probably look back versus when they first came and moved
Yes.
abroad.
Absolutely.
You want to start or do you want me to start?
Sure. I'll talk a little bit about the our older children, how they've gotten into the workforce. So we've incorporated entrepreneurship into our curriculum from early on. So they have experience at a young age of internships. You mentioned internships. They've had an opportunity to work in some excellent internships. They worked in a bike store where they got an opportunity to fix the bikes, to actually work the front desk where they're actually doing transactions and customer service. And then they got the opportunity to get into a more of an entrepreneurial side where the bikes that they were fixing, they were actually able to build these bikes or different bikes, build bikes, and then turn around and sell them. So
For profit.
For profit, and got a chance to keep the profit.
Yes. So they got like the income versus
profits versus
wages.
So they got wages from actual working at the bike shop, but then they made profit from selling the things that they were the bikes that they built, different bikes that they built. So they were doing repairs and actually building. So they got this amazing opportunity there. And then they've been able to do some other internships. We have a son who is our oldest son. He does multiple things. Really, really talented young man. Really proud of him. But he's been able to work internships in terms of working in technology and learning how to deal with fiber optics and working in phone systems. Phenomenal situation for him there. And he's gotten opportunities from that. He's doing his main thing is writing and marketing. So he's doing copywriting. Social media. He's learning a social media game now and working with folks in that in terms of freelancing. So that's been phenomenal. That's opened up, his mind and his opportunities to see him, like Sakile talked about a minute ago, be an independent thinker, be an independent person, and be able to go out and do these things and handle himself and communicate really well. He works with another guy who has a farm and does, it's not Airbnb, but it's something else. I forget what it's called. It's like woofing where he has his farm and he brings in people who actually will come and stay on the farm and work on the farm and learn about farming. It's pretty cool. Yes. We've done that as a family too, but my son is his farm manager. So he manages the farm and he manages his woofing setup where people come in from all over the world. He'll manage them, make sure their accommodations are good. He'll actually do the tours and do some of the workshops with them.
Yeah, make sure they're doing their tasks.
Yeah, tremendous opportunity. And my son right under him, he's 18. He's had a chance to do internships. He's very technology strong young man. So he's done internships in different technology setups, working in stores and working with some different companies. and is now he set up his own entrepreneurial type of deal where he's his own business. So yeah, doing this has been tremendous on the Worldschooling side, and then on the homeschooling side, and their independence and independent thinking and being creative thinking, but then also on the Worldschooling side to see them operate in different cultures, different languages. They're both bilingual, multilingual, so see them be able to communicate and do business in other languages. It's been tremendous. And then my girls are doing the same thing. They're doing some phenomenal things too. They've had a chance to work in a couple of different settings. One of them is learning photography, and they're both teaching English as a second language. And I forget what else. There's something else we're looking into. They're learning. Oh, they're getting into consulting, doing some consulting work also.
Yeah, one is managing Airbnbs.
Yeah, managing Airbnbs. Or with some of our neighbors in the neighborhood, there's an Airbnb, and they manage the property.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been phenomenal. I'll let Sakile. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I want Sakile to go on elaborate on that.
So for me, what I love most is the character development. When people meet our children, like, believe it or not, I'm kind of a recluse. I'm kind of a little antisocial. Just a little. I mean, when we first came for the first couple years, they thought that you were widowed or divorced. Like, literally, they were just like, they saw you and the children, and then they would ask, like, where's your mom? Are your parents separated? Your mom died? Is she back in the States?
RJ gets you better. Then they thought I was grandpa.
Yeah, when we do go out, like, people will be like, it's not like that. But anyway, so like, yeah, so people would
RJ doing me dirty.
But so they wouldn't see me, but then so the children probably like, she's mysterious. You probably would never see her because she don't really come out. But the people would say, oh my goodness, you're so awesome. You're so amazing. Can you like give your parents our phone number? Because you're so awesome. I know that your parents are awesome. And so that legacy, they're so confident, they like carry themselves with so much, like with respect. Most people don't think, I don't know, I shouldn't say that. Well, it's true. No one thinks they're from the US. Like, no one thinks they're like, you must be Cuban, you must be Colombian, you must be, anything but US. Because they're like, no, you're from the US. Like, no, but you like carry yourself with respect. I don't know. They must have really bad ideas. I'm like, do you hear their accent? They're speaking English like perfectly, US English. So I'm just like, but they're just like, no, they're just so sweet, so kind, so thoughtful, so confident, so mature. Like, wow, how did you do that? But that's like Worldschooling, because where in the world do we just sit with 30 people our age all day and interact? Like, there's like, once you're adult, you're never with the same age. So for them, since birth, they've been interacting with people their age or older, all the way to elders. Like, every day they're interacting with all groups of people of, and, communicating. And so, yeah, it's beautiful to just see them in the world. They make me so proud. And like, I'm like, you could stop bringing me people's phone numbers. They're like, no, I want to meet you. And I'm like, I'm never going to go out to meet them. I'm not going to go outside. So anyway, so that's really hard. But I do.
She does get out of there. She's not a complete housewife. She does get out and have a good time. Karaoke and
with the children. Yeah. But
there was a question. I'm bringing it up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but they wanted to. Can you talk about how you guys incorporated extracurricular activities while homeschooling?
I love this. So we talked about this a little bit before, but I'll go into more detail, especially when our children were younger. So this is about knowing yourself. So I know I am not team patience. I'm team very little patience. So I learned little to none. So I know that my patience all of it is pretty much in the morning. So between 6 and 9, after that, it's like gone. It's gone. So we would teach our lessons from 7 a.m. to 9. So we would have like 4 30-minute lessons, like 30 minutes of math, 30 minutes of reading. The reading may be history, or so you can, as a homeschooling, we can layer the lesson. So a reading lesson may also be science, and it can also be writing, and language arts and math, all in, it's like it's amazing. You can do that. So you can pretty much teach all the lessons within 2 hours. So that's what we would do. And by 9 o'clock, they would have their breakfast, they would clean up. And I realized that if we stayed at home, I'm going to be cooking and cleaning all day with all of these children. So I would make breakfast and dinner at the same time in the morning. So by 9 o'clock, breakfast and dinner is done. Then, they're cleaning up their room. I'm getting the little ones dressed. I'm throwing food in the bag for lunch. And then we would leave. And every day, Monday through Friday, we're going to the museum, to the library, to a concert, to something from like 11 until 2. And then every week I would have a schedule, and I would send it out to all my homeschool friends and families. Like, this is where the Speller family is going to be. If you want to show up, great. If you don't, great. So sometimes, and all my friends have 5 to 10 children. So 3 families. That's that's a party. That's 15 children or more, right? So yeah, so we would go to the museum. So that was like an extracurricular learning experience. And then, and we would eat lunch, after the museum, the packed lunch, so we can just throw it away and have to worry about cleaning. It was great. then after that, we needed to head back around 2:30 because we needed to avoid rush hour. Like I do not do rush hour. I do not do traffic. So by 11 o'clock, traffic, there is none. 2:30, rush hour hasn't started in Chicago. So we're like heading back home. And then we had like centers that it was around 3:30. The children we would take them to after school events. So in the afternoon, they were at museums and homeschooling children. And in the afternoon, there were programs with all children. So that's when they would do basketball, football, track and field, photography, martial arts, cooking classes, gardening, all of that, coding. So they would do that from 3:30 until about 5:30, 5:15, something. It used to be two different programs. They would do so they would do 2 different things, and each like semester or whatever. And at 6 o'clock, they would head home, eat dinner. 7 o'clock, everyone had taken their showers. They're in bed, and from 7:30 to the rest of the night is quiet reading time. So I'm like, you're in your room, you're reading a book, you're quiet. I'm not seeing you until 7 o'clock the next day. You're in your room. I don't care what you do. You don't have to read, but I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you until tomorrow. So that's our extra curriculum schedule. So they were very active. Like every day we're doing something. And then Saturdays and Sundays, it would be like mandatory, like family events or something. Saturday and Sundays was like a lot of people out. So I typically am planning things that I prefer to just stay at home. I don't like crowds. So that was, And then their uncles and aunts and stuff were at home. So I'm like, you can just spend time with your family. And their dad usually home. So hang out with dad and your cousin. Because we eventually moved into the same housing as your parents, which was perfect. Like, so if you can incorporate family, that is great. When we first started. So his parents were in one 4-bedroom unit. His brother was next door in another 4-bedroom unit. We were in another 4-bedroom. He had another sister and brother in that building with lots of cousins. So it was like great. The weekends, go visit your cousins, go visit your family. Mommy would be here like, hiding because I've been busy Monday
People
through
don't realize how inactive the American lifestyle is and how active it is outside of America. The United States doesn't really give you you got the 9 to 5, you're going to work, you're fighting to get to work at 9, so you might leave 6:30, 7 o'clock. Some people even further because the cost of living in a major city is outrageous. So some people are in the state, in the suburbs. So when you talk about extracurricular activities, even navigating that, after school programs, these things you free up when you do unleash yourself from America and you start to see, hey, it may not be as difficult to get kids to go play with each other anymore. They're naturally going to go do that, and it's in a safe environment. I
yes.
know down here, the malls are like the 90s and the 80s where you
Yeah,
go
Here
and you
I
too.
do
love it.
stuff
Oh,
and there's like installations, and here in Colombia there's literally a 6-story mall every 15 minutes and they're all like
Wow.
extravagant. So
I
Wow.
love
literally
I love
you
that.
could you see so many kids doing the things that we actually forgot about, and I think it's really important to realize that when you consider, well, what extracurricular activities will they have access to? All of them, all of the ones that they couldn't do in the United States, all of the ones that they could do in the United States. And I tell people a lot because they think when I leave abroad, move abroad, I'm giving up something. And I'm like,
Right.
nah, you're actually gaining so much.
Yeah.
I
Um,
agree. I agree because our children have played football and basketball. All of the boys, they've been on teams, and they even did a flag football team with
Right.
dad. At one time, everyone was playing together on the same team. But then they end up playing with their years. So they do sports down here too, and the girls were doing like dance classes with me. So we're doing like salsa and bachata and cumbia.
no,
So,
that's all.
but they have judo down here. They have, I think, Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
they have track and field. They have swimming. They have like coding classes.
Volleyball.
They
They
have
got
volleyball.
boxing. That's
Oh,
my
they have
favorite.
boxing.
Boxing.
They have,
You know, so
yeah,
MMA
in
because
Mexico.
MMA is popular now. So they got gyms,
Yes.
MMA gyms.
Yeah.
So much you can do.
And if you're like an adult and you're tall, they're going to recruit you to play and you may get paid to play. Like he
Sure.
won championships playing basketball.
Yeah, they
And
got little
then,
semi-pro leagues. You
yeah.
know,
I
for
missed my window. I would have came down there and had a resurrection.
Yeah. No, they have like
it's 40 and up.
it's 40 and up
Come
teams
on
that
in.
he was getting. Yeah.
Right on the other side. Right on the other side of 40.
Yeah, they got those too. They got 30-year-old leagues.
No. I'm too close to 40 to be in the 30-year-old league, brother. Let's keep it calm. Let's keep
Well, you
it
have to
calm.
come on over. Join one of the 40 leagues when you get there.
That's real.
No,
I was
tonight-
watching this video of a guy. He was talking about trying to play after 40, 50 years old and the difference. And he was talking about how he thought he was killing it, but his trainer videotaped him.
He's running in
Yeah,
slow
he's watching
motion.
it.
He's in
Watching
regular
the
speed,
video.
slow motion. Mhm. The wind was moving so fast past my ear.
He was like, I'm about to go kill these dudes.
Nah, that's funny. That's
Oh,
funny.
man.
Sweet Georgia Brown's playing as he's getting out there. No, Spellers, it has been a pleasure as always. These conversations are dearly designed not only to help the people that are looking to move abroad with their kids, but make it a reality. Let you see somebody that looks like you that has done it, has successfully moved abroad, not moved abroad and had to go home because they didn't get it figured out, didn't move abroad and with the right intention and build a community. Never mind you guys having a great opportunity, which a lot of us don't have. You got your parents on one end, your brother on another end, the cousins are all around. That is almost the perfect environment for some of these people that are on their couch in the United States looking at, is this a reality? And tonight has been painted as a reality, and it's been in a scenario where it is doable. But the real question I think we all uncovered was the intention of it, the navigation of what you are looking for, what you're looking for from you, what you are looking for from the opportunity for your children to have. Those things are important, as well as what you are looking to leave behind. You don't want to bring the old behaviors, the old luggage, the old baggage of America with you, because you'll find out that it won't allow you to have the time that you are envisioning in your head. So, want to make certain that one, you guys are going to embraceyourfree.com. I know that Vernon put some of the information there, but you can at least start, if you don't see it wherever it is that you are, at embraceyourfree.com. That way you can get in contact with the spellers, whether it is the homeschooling, schooling, and world schooling option, whether it's taking that business idea that you have, that thought that I have some marketable skills and reputable skills, but I need to globalize these. I need to monetize these because I'm trying to unhook my life and my family's life from the United States. These guys, Vernon and Sakile Speller, will help you guys navigate this entire process. When you're ready to start getting connected to the destinations, the visa experts, the relocation experts that can help you navigate what the neighborhoods look like, get connected to the communities that are on ground that will help you sustain this life that you're saying. You guys can go to moodtravelabroad.com, and there and where you will find not only all of the free resources, but all of the ones that are ready for the serious people that says, I need something customized for me. Because this out the box relocation, the general relocation, the one that everybody's using as their blueprint, it's not going to work for my success. My blueprint and your blueprint are going to be always two different blueprints. But the opportunity, whether it is working with the spellers or working with the Mood Travel Abroad relocation expert team, is designed to help take the hassle out of moving abroad and allow you to focus on whatever life that you want to create. Spellers, do you guys have anything for the community before we get out of here?
Well, we have our free guide. Check it out. It's a gift from us to you.
Yeah,
So it's in the chat.
And I'll share this for, like I said, for the more conservative parent who's, kind of worried about things, address it. So I'll say this, some of the things you want to look at, we talked about here briefly, but I'll say them very clearly. So you want to look at and be intentional about logistical planning. What routes am I going to take? What flights? Where exactly am I going to live? What neighborhoods? This is where mood travel comes is beautiful with what you're doing, RJ. You can get into and actually visit, get boots on the ground and see what's going on, check out the logistics of what you're going on, safety-wise, all those different things. Financial planning, be very intentional about that. There's some great websites, I can't think of them offhand, but there's great websites in terms of what is the cost of living in different areas, Colombia, Mexico, so you can do your financial planning, adjusting your expectations. We talked about that a lot now. So you're having the right expectation. I heard a good quote about how expectations can really create a lot of stress. Really, a lot of our stress comes from having unrealistic expectations, or just say unrealistic expectations. Having the ability to build new routines and being flexible, build new routines that are going to work for you. And then finally, managing time.
Yeah.
Getting really good at your time management, or what I could talk about priority management.
Yeah.
You're doing the important things.
Absolutely. And it looks like that we lost RJ, but I want to say thank you so much, RJ,
yes, thank you, everybody,
for your time and your energy and your expertise, and also all the value that you're bringing to the community. We really appreciate you. And I just want to let everyone know that Worldschooling, you're back. Worldschooling, I believe, is like the best form of education. I mean, because it's not just fun for the child, but it's fun for everyone. Like, we're learning right along with the children. So if you can, take part in Worldschooling your children, I would say do it. You'll have such a strong bond, great memories, and I feel like your child will be like tons ahead of other children with their experiences, especially at college, when they're like writing their letters and sharing their experience, they're going to be like worlds ahead of their competition. So I think it's great. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you,
and thank you, Shell.
Yes, thank you guys for jumping in the chats, being engaged with the spellers. Once again, embraceyourfree.com is where you guys can get in contact directly with them. Once again, my name is RJ. You can go to moodtravelabroad.com. You can get connected. Come test drive your life before you sell everything. I always tell you, if you got it on your head, go do it. Go test it out. Make sure it's what you want. And this opportunity here tonight is definitely always something positive to share with you. Tomorrow we will be back. Something important, taxes. Taxes. We will be talking to a person at Sandra M. She actually helps expats navigate taxes living abroad. There are credits that allow you to take the dollars because you live abroad and not have to pay so many taxes, but you don't even know where to start. This relocation journey is a little bit difficult. So we continue to bring the resources. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you are putting your comments into the chats. That way we know what it is that you need to hear. Make sure you are also going and following, subscribing, sharing this with the other person that's looking to move abroad so they can get the good conversations that are here and hosted here. I will see you guys mañana. It has been a pleasure, Spellers. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Be well, everyone.
Bye.